asked my interviewers this question, and the first thing they did was to laugh. If you're watching this video right now, chances are that you've got an NHS interview coming up and you're wondering, what should you expect? What do you do? What do you need to do? What's that like? Little bit of information you need to make all the difference. And don't worry guys, I'm here for you. All right, I attended about 6+ interviews with the NHS, got 3 offers, and got a certificate of sponsorship in one of them. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you things you need to pay attention to if you have like an interview coming up urgently with the NHS. If this sounds like something you're interested in, do well to watch this video to the very end, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. Let's get started. So the very first thing you need to pay attention to is your interviewers. Before now, you would have gotten like an interview invite, and on that interview invite you would have been told who will be members or part of your interview panel. Take a few minutes of your time, go on LinkedIn, look them up, see who they are, and if you can do like a little research of what position they hold in the organization, say in the hospital for example, then it will make you to put a face to their name once you get to see them. And during the period of the interview, you would want to be calling them by their specific names. For example, if you are told that a Lucy is going to be on your interview, when she asks you a question, before you answer her, you would want to like, thank you very much Lucy for that question before you proceed with your answer. It goes a long way to build like a connection between you and your interviewer. Then another essential thing that you want to be paying attention to is time management. So if your interview is slated for, let's say, 10 a.m. in the morning, you want to get there for the interview and be seated there by at least 10 minutes, 10 minutes before your interview time. Even if it's an online interview and you've been sent like a Zoom link before the time for the interview, you would want to be seated 15 to 10 minutes and also logged on to that particular meeting before that time. All right, so I experienced this firsthand during my first interview. It was actually an online interview, and I think it was slated for 9 a.m. So I got everything ready and I was seated, and I just said, let me log into the Zoom meeting like 10 minutes before, even though it was early. Okay, and I did, and to my surprise, my interviewers just turned on their camera like 5 minutes to the time. So imagine that I had said, let me wait till the very last minute, and that very last minute internet start acting up or anything could go wrong. It's better for you to be earlier than for you to be late. Then another thing you would want to pay attention to, especially if you are going for an NHS interview, is the NHS values. Have you heard of the NHS values before? Do you know what they are? Do you know how to demonstrate them? If you have not, then I want you to quickly do like a Google search. What are the NHS values? All right, type it out right now, write it out, know it, and like know how to demonstrate it before you go for an NHS interview. They might ask you out rightly, what are the NHS values, but some might just say, how would you demonstrate the NHS values? So how are you able to demonstrate something you don't even know? Okay, so you want to do yourself a lot of good by doing a quick research on what the NHS values are. So aside the NHS values, every NHS trust has their own core values, mission and vision. The particular NHS trust that you're going for an interview has their own core values. Do you know what they are? So how do you find this out? Quickly go to their website. Usually where they have their about us section on their website, you should be able to find their core values, their mission and their vision. You would want to write this down and also think about it, memorize it, and think of how you can demonstrate that. All right, some might come out outrightly to ask you, what are our values? How would you demonstrate this? They might just mention a part of their core values and tell you to tell them how you would demonstrate those values. Okay, so I was asked this particular question in my last interview, and thank God I already knew what their values are. So I had to come up with a story that portrayed how I could demonstrate that. All right, so you would want to do that very quickly and save yourself a lot of unnecessary uncertainties. All right, then one thing you would want to be doing during your interview section is to show enthusiasm for the role. It's it's one thing for you to know what you want to say, like, okay, why do you want to work for our organization? Then you are just seated like, I want to work for your organization because I've heard a lot of good things about you and I want to be a part of this organization. No, it doesn't, because you want to show, like, through your body language, your facial expression, that you are happy about coming here. You are thrilled about the idea of even coming to work for them in the first place, and you'll be very happy as well if you're given the opportunity to work in that particular capacity. All right, you would want to be showing them how excited you are. Then one major mistake that a lot of people make, which I have also made during the first few interviews I had, was at the end of the interview, the interviewer is going to ask you, do you have any question for us, or do you have anything you would like to say? Especially they have been specifically say, do you have any questions for us? And a lot of people, after the tension and everything of the interview, they'll say, no, thank you very much. Yeah, I also did that. That is a very, 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 very big mistake. When you ask that question, you would want to be asking your interviewers questions. Write out at least 1 or 2 questions that you would want to ask them. For example, how many people are you looking to employ for this role? A lot of people go for an interview and they put all of their hopes on the interview, and they get a call back in the next couple of days, tell them they were not selected for the role because they were only looking for one person and they had found the suitable candidate, and if they were looking for more than one person, they would have stood a chance, and that will even make a lot of people, or some people, to go into depression. So to save yourself that headache, you would want to ask them at the end of the interview, how many people are you looking to employ for this role? Then another question you could also ask them is, what is a typical day in this organization like? Or what is a typical day working in this organization or in this position like? You can get to know more about what the role and everything is about. You can get to know more about what happens behind the scene, what happens in the organization. You can give your interviewers an opportunity to do the talking while you relax and listen. Okay, it will do you a whole lot of good, and also for the help in easing the tension. Another question you could also ask them is, what are your expectations from the successful candidate within the first month? I asked my interviewers this question, and the first thing they did was to laugh. Because for them it was like, they never saw that coming, like they never answered that question. So they actually laughed before they started answering the question, and trust me, when they were done answering, I was like, oh my god, this is a whole lot. And of course I could only imagine what they were saying then, but right now working in that position, I can understand more what they took their time to explain on that day. The one important thing you need to pay attention to is never talk negatively about your current job or your previous job that you left. When they ask you why are you leaving your current job, or why did you leave your previous job, even if you've had like a very negative experience, you won't want to say that during an interview. So you want to say that it was a great organization to work for, like you learned lots of things from there. They taught you lots of things, lot of skills, transferable skills, and you enjoyed working with them, but right now you're ready for a new challenge, or you're ready for a change, and that this for you is about career progression and nothing more. Okay, and I know it could also be dicey when they ask you and you have to come up with like lots of stories to answer several questions. Just ensure to stick with stories that are relevant to the role and also portray the virtues and skills that they are looking for or that they're asking you about. And if you've not watched that video I made about some questions I was asked during my interview, I'm going to link it up somewhere there so that you can go watch it. Have you found value from this video? Have you subscribed to this channel? If not, what are you waiting for? Do well to hit the subscription button below to subscribe to this channel. Like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to other subscribers. And until I come your way again, I remain Comfort Gideon. Bye bye.